All right, so identifying the domain of a function, find any holes, and find any vertical asymptotes. So for us to do that, we always take a look at the denominator here. So for the domain, we just set it equal to 0 or can't equal 0. So x can't equal 2. Okay, so that's technically my domain restriction. So my domain is all real numbers, x just can't equal 2. So now, any holes? Is there a factor on the top and the bottom that reduce? Well, so if I have x and I factor out that 3, no, nothing reduces, so none. So my vertical asymptotes, or whatever's left, so my vertical asymptote is x equals 2. For number 3, if I factor it, I'm going to get x minus 4, x plus 3. And here I get x plus 3, x minus 2. So for my domain restrictions, I set the denominator to where it can't equal 0. So I get x cannot equal negative 3, and x cannot equal 2. So the domain is all real numbers except x can't be that. Now any holes? So for the holes, is there anything that cancels out? The x plus 3's cancel out, so that means this one is a hole. And then the vertical asymptotes is what's left. For number 4, this factors. So my domain is all real numbers where x cannot equal negative 2 and positive 2. Nothing cancels out, so I don't have any holes. But my vertical asymptote is at x equals negative 2 and positive 2. So simplify the following here. Let's look at 37, or actually let's do 39. So if you remember, we need to have the same denominator, so I'm going to factor it. So this factors into x minus 3 and x plus 1. Sorry, x plus 3, x minus 1. And then minus, on top I have x plus 4. And then this will factor into x plus 3, x minus 3. So now we have to look at what's the same and what's missing. So they both have an x plus 3, good. This is missing an x minus 1, so I'm going to multiply that. This is missing an x minus 3, so I'm going to multiply that. So now we got to multiply everything out. So 3x squared minus x minus 9x plus 3. And now minus, I'm going to do the same thing here, x squared minus x plus 4x minus 4. And at the bottom, I don't need to worry about anything. So with this distributing, I'm just going to change the color, right? That negative distributes. So this becomes positive 3x. But with that distributing, I'm going to turn that to a plus. That becomes a negative. That becomes a negative. That becomes a positive. That's just going to make it easier when I combine things together. So 3x squared minus x squared is 2x squared. This is minus 10x. So minus 10x and minus 3x is minus 13x. And then 3 and 4 get me 7. So 3 and 4 get me plus 7. And this is over x minus 3, x plus 3, and x minus 1. Now, does this factor? Maybe. So a times c. You get 14. Factors of 14 that add to negative 13. So that's going to be negative 14 and positive 1, but that doesn't give me positive 14, right? Because if I multiply those, that gives me negative 14. So we can't 2 and 7? No? Okay, so there's nothing we can do. This is our answer.